Hi, and welcome back to Push Box Banter. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Craig, and today we're going to do a little bit of pushing and boxing and bantering.
Yeah.
Or not. But
gonna
whatever we're going to do, we're going to talk about F1 and all that implies. And right now, it's implying about Saudi Arabia, because that's where we're going for our race.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is technically the middle of the Middle East, geographically. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So some fun facts about Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
The fifth largest country in Asia.
Oh.
In all of Asia.
It's
Do you know
Asia?
that? Yeah. And if
Is the Middle East in Asia?
Yeah, technically. Oh. It's technically like attached to Asia.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, it's the 12th largest country in the world.
Is it that big?
Yeah. Saudi Arabia is huge.
Oh.
It's quite large.
Interesting.
Quite large.
Did you know that 95% of Saudi Arabia is desert?
Yes. You know, another interesting thing about that is that Saudi Arabia is one of the few, I think there's 20 countries in the world that do not have a river in it. And Saudi Arabia is one of those 20.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But yet it's that large of a country.
So the fishing is not good there is what you're saying.
Well, actually, you know, because it's surrounded by, the couple of seas, and an ocean. Well, actually, that part isn't surrounded by the ocean, but there's a couple of seas and the fishing's decent there. And they actually have like really good, I think, snorkeling and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and diving. Yeah. So and in one, I think I'm getting my seas mixed up. It's either the Arabian or the Persian Gulf that they have like a vast diversity of fish there. It's like species that are only found there that aren't found anywhere else in the world.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yes. Yes, it is. So I guess a few other things like, historically, you've got Medina and Mecca, which are,
That's right.
Religious significant
Sites.
cities. Yes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
There's actually an annual pilgrimage that happens in Mecca.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
It's called the Hajj.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where they go to the
Yep, exactly. Walk around it.
Walk around and everything. That's pretty huge because there's people that go there, and like you think about that, there's like millions of people that go to this each year.
Yeah,
and that have been throughout time. There's actually what's the guy's name? Is it Masa Musa? That's from modern day Mali, but he was a king back in the 1200s. He went on a journey to Mecca, and he brought so much gold with him that he actually devalued the currency in Egypt and put them into a recession because they gave out gold everywhere that they went on their way to Mecca. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing, huh? Yeah. But yeah, Saudi Arabia has some interesting things too. It's in the 20th century, oil was discovered. It has like one of the largest oil deposits in the world.
That's right.
So yeah, so there's that. And then Aramco, which you'll see on F1 is one of the major sponsors. You'll see them all on the tracks. You'll see them, or I think right now the Aston Martin has them on their rear wing as a sponsor.
That's right.
But that originally was Arabian and American Oil Company. I think that's originally what it was called. And then in the 1980s, Saudi Arabia bought out the American portion.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's kind of kept the same name.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's a little oil tie-in, other than what's being used in all the cars, all the engines. But yeah. Saudi Arabia has some other interesting things. The sport, football being one of the national sports.
That's right. Football's big.
So in 2034, FIFA's holding the.
That's right.
The big soccer tournament, which is
the
totally
World
slipping
Cup.
my mind. Yes, the World Cup, which everyone knows,
my
except for me in that last instance. But yeah, so that's a big thing. They also have like one of the largest deserts, the largest desert in the world.
That's right, the Rub al Khalil.
Yes. So it's also called the empty quarter.
The empty quarter. That's right.
It's over 600,000 square kilometers. It's like this hugest sandbox in the world. You know what's weird about that?
What's that?
So in Saudi Arabia, they import sand and to make concrete.
Yeah, to make concrete.
Yeah, so they import all this sand from Australia because the sand that's in their deserts it's too fine of sand.
Wow.
Yeah, and then interesting.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So, one of the things that they're constructing there, they've had a lot of different constructions that they're doing. One of them that you may have heard of is that really long building. It's like this linear building. It's called like NEOM. It's NEOM. And it's supposed to be, originally it was supposed to be around 100 miles long. Take up like 1,000 square miles or something like that.
Right.
Like a big skyscraper, mirrored and everything.
That's right.
So I don't know if that's going to be completed, but they're wanting it, like the prince that's in charge of that wants it to be viewed from space. So he wants it that big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So kind of an interesting
That's really
thing
cool.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they also have the tallest fountain in the world. It shoots water up 312 meters in the sky. So
Wow.
for all of you that are
considering-
not in the meters, that's over 1,000 feet in the
1,000
air.
feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It
So
is.
they have
In a dry land.
That's what I was going to say.
Mhm. You get like spray up water like that, it's all going to evaporate. How much does it actually evaporate? I wonder if the
I'm sure they
the
definitely.
height of that is a lot
Oh
less.
yeah, they're
like,
losing
in the
water
summertime.
there.
Yeah. I don't know.
It goes into the sky and falls as rain somewhere else. It's like,
Right.
where's that water going?
Right. Yeah.
To the ocean?
I don't know. But so Saudi Arabia also has a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Okay. And what's that?
It's called Hegra. Well, it's a Nabatean culture, and it's the culture of Hegra, or the location of that. But the Nabateans were in the Arabian Peninsula and up all the way into Jordan. So, like, everybody's probably a little bit more familiar with them because they actually there's these different rocks that they would carve their little homes into and carve burial sites into and so forth in Saudi Arabia. But they also are well known because the Nabateans are those that inhabited Petra in Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like all of those, the Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost, or the what was the last? Oh gosh, it was the third one that they did, but but that's one of the famous sites of the Nabateans. The Romans annexed that, and so the Romans were in charge of it. So now that's another World Heritage Site as well, I believe. But you can find out more on that. You can watch some Josh Gates Expedition Unknown. They've got a couple episodes of that. It's great. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool, unique heritage there.
That is really awesome.
Outside of what you normally think of when you think of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, in recent news, Elon Musk opened up a showroom for Tesla 2 days ago.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's a huge oil producing country.
And there
And
weren't
they get the
any
electric
protests
vehicles.
there for him. So
Yeah,
I think
don't
they
know if
like him.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
Yeah. But you're right. It's kind of weird that they would have, electric vehicles there or like want to have, because obviously it's a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Like the chargers, there aren't any chargers.
Yeah, that's an
So,
infrastructure that they're going to have to build.
Yeah, they're going to have to build around that. But
Yeah.
anyway, Tesla in Saudi Arabia now.
Man, we also have the F1 race. That's
Yeah,
coming.
we have the F1 race. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So Craig, going into the weekend, what do you think?
Gosh, going into the weekend, I'm like, okay, this race, Saudi Arabia, I love it. High speed, most turns out of all of them. Night race, night qualies, all the good stuff for TV. Love it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So, I mean, quali was great.
Well, let's talk
I
about.
thought.
Yeah, no, it was. But let's talk about going into quali. What's up with
okay.
Max? And is he really going to Aston Martin?
That is an interesting
Everybody's-
question. I mean,
it's like
there were rumors of like 300 mil or something like for him
It's
to
up
go.
in the air, yeah.
And he'd be united with Nui, but then like, what are they going to do? Are they going to let Alonso go, or are they going to let Stroll go?
Yeah, I think they probably already have something in mind. Alonso's probably like, okay, this is my last year.
It might be.
He's not really doing anything.
Yeah, he might be frustrated, but then again, he may just want to work like, and actually drive a car that Nui's designed. Because Nui's not working on the
That's true.
25 version.
That's true. He could be. We'll see. But exciting news there, huh?
Yeah, kind of stir things up. I mean, Max has a contract through 28, but in this world, it can all change.
I'm pretty sure they said there's a release clause for
Yeah.
performance. So if he doesn't get like P4 or something or higher, it's likely he's going to be out the door. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. So if he's moving up and down in the drivers' championship, yeah, it could be all over for him in Red Bull.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Verstappen, he did pretty good in qualifying.
Yes, he did.
Had some teamwork from Sonoda, helped him get a little tow, and made it to pole position.
Yes. It was so nice.
It was a really good. It was a good lap too.
It was pretty cool though what they did in Q3 because they had they had like 5 minutes or so, something like that. He went out, and normally they wait and he gets his last lap in at the very end of the quali, but he did one lap, came in, did a pit stop, like an actual race pit stop, got back out and put on another time after that.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was an excellent lap. The side-by-side or the Ghost version was really cool, seeing him and Piastri. Yeah, he had an excellent lap and well-deserved pole position. Now, we will talk about this later, but obviously that pole was short-lived. But let's talk about Norris.
Yes. So Norris had a little bit of trouble in quali.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
What happened to him?
Well, he decided to kiss the wall a little bit too, and
he made out with the wall.
He made out with the wall, and a couple of wheels fell off. Fortunately, he was okay. Like he hit the wall, but it wasn't. It was below. It was like below 18 Gs.
Yeah.
So it didn't like alert the medical red button or whatever on the car.
Exactly.
But it was still bad.
It was pretty bad. I mean, the walls are right there, so.
Yeah, he just lost a little control going over one of the curbs.
Yeah,
and couldn't recover.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that one.
No,
and so that left him in what P10. Yeah, it's a shame. Leading the championship, you're like right there to cement your position.
So this is kind of a pivotal point for him because he's leading the championship, and then like now he goes in starting 10th.
Yep.
Piastri he qualifies as second. If he does well throughout the race, then he's going to be first or second in the drivers' championship. So how does that play out with McLaren? How does it play out with Norris's opportunities?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
creates a lot of questions, a lot of drama.
It is a lot. It is a lot of drama because at some point McLaren has to back one of their drivers.
Yeah. They can't just go, oh, this one's the best.
Right.
Give him a participation ribbon.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not looking like it's going to be Norris. Everybody's expecting it to be. It's like unsaid, right? He's the leader of the team. He's been there for the longest. He's seen the whole development of that program. And it's your opportunity, and he's really stinking it up.
Yeah. I think, he's stinking it up compared to Piastri.
Well, of course.
Yeah. I think Piastri is like, he's knocking it down. Like
he's in form. He's exciting to see. I mean, I don't want to say he's exciting. He's not a very exciting driver, but he's been flawless.
Yeah.
And he's been like strong up in the head, right? Like he's not making stupid mistakes. I mean, power to him. He's doing great. And if they're going to back anybody, I hope, and I mentioned this last time, I don't see Piastri wanting to lose to Norris in any way. And even in the race, he was saying some things like, oh, why is he still in front of me? Like, I'm starting to feel that dirty air. Like, he doesn't want him anywhere around him.
Yeah.
So.
Nor should he.
He shouldn't. I mean, this is Piastri's time, and he's killing it. So good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Hamilton, where's he been?
I don't know. I saw his car a few times out on the track. A couple of times, like he did some cameos with Norris passing him. Then he did pass Norris right back, and then Norris passed him. So we did see him a little bit. He's out there. Yeah,
poor Hamilton.
I know. Well, he did okay, but is Hamilton and Ferrari okay is not good enough.
Nope,
it's just not. And he started 7th. He ended 7th.
I don't know what's going on.
It's okay, but it's just like...
I wonder what the Tifosi are thinking.
I think the Tifosi are a little upset with him. But they had good things with Charles Leclerc this weekend.
They did, and good for Ferrari for having him up there. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought he was getting overshadowed. Excuse me. I thought he was getting overshadowed by Hamilton since the beginning of the year. But finally, he's up there. He's looking pretty good. I know Alexandra is probably really happy.
Yes, I'm sure she is.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's been one of the things is like, okay, you got Lewis, you got Charles. Like, which one's the number one driver? And it seemed like there was a lot of favoring and a little bit like almost like some animosity between the two in the media. Not real like harsh animosity, but you know, competition between each two to see kind of which one. But I think Charles is stepping out in front of Hamilton. Each race he's usually out qualifying him.
In the last two races?
Other than the sprint race that Hamilton won.
Controversial question for you, Craig. Do you think that Ferrari may have made a mistake choosing Hamilton over Sainz? Because Sainz has outqualified Hamilton in a Williams for the last two races.
Yes, I thought so last year for most of it. I did kind of flip-flop a little bit whenever Hamilton won. I think there were some situations where Hamilton did really well.
He's past his prime.
I think he is. Like, from a marketing standpoint, it's a genius move. From like a driver's standpoint, I think Sainz is a little bit better driver than him. So, but yeah, who knows? I mean, he's still adjusting. Give him a little bit of time, see what happens. Hopefully I'm wrong. And for all of the Tifosi out there, hopefully I'm wrong as well.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves Hamilton, and we want to see him win. So hopefully he can. Yeah, he can bring it back. But seeing Sainz ahead of him is like, ugh.
Well, and also seeing how far Leclerc was ahead of him. In qualifying, they were pretty close.
You're right.
But then in the race and in the race pace, Charles was way better.
Right.
I don't understand what the difference is between those two, because I guarantee they're getting like the same type of car.
Yeah, well, I think it's something about their tires. They can't get them hooked in just right. But obviously Leclerc is getting a little bit more out of that. So interesting. Another kind of really like big gap is the Gasly Doohan. Well, we've talked about that for a little bit now. And I know I might have given him, I think, till Miami. You might have given him a little later. What do you think? When are we going to see a change there?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think they give him a little bit more leeway, but I mean, this weekend, like, he qualified okay, but not that great.
Do you think he'll make it through the end of the year?
If he continues the current status that he's doing, or his current performance, no, I don't think he makes it through the end of the year. He'll probably get replaced halfway through, like summer break. But I don't know if he'll make it that long if he keeps performing at the back of the grid. I hope that he does. I'm a fan of his. I like him.
I like him too.
Yeah.
I like him too. And I want him to succeed. I just don't think he's going to make it past Miami. I'm still there. I didn't think he'd make it to Miami, but I think he'll make it to Miami and get replaced.
That is very possible, because what they had Bortoletto practicing at Monza. Was that
Calapinto.
Calapinto. Yeah. Calapinto. Yeah. So that is possible that he's going to get replaced pretty soon if he doesn't step it up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he has some flashes, but I don't think he had as many upgrades on his car as Gasly did, but Gasly still is like way outperforming him. It's just how it rolls.
It's how it's rolling.
Yeah.
Gasly's looking pretty good. Well, talking about Gasly, great little transition here, Craig. Gasly.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes. Yeah. Wonderful transition. Gasly Sonoda in the race, lap one. The only drama we got.
I know. So
I thought we would get more drama.
I know. Before the race, we were talking, and you were like, I think there's going to be two safety cars. So I was like, I'll take the over on that.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
Yeah. I was wrong too. There's only one. So.
I know. There was only one. It was the very first lap. But it's, the Sonoda has a little shunt, knocks both of them out. And, I was disappointed in that, because I was kind of interested to see how Gasly was going to do. He started in ninth, had really good qualies, and he's been driving well the past few weeks.
Yeah.
we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. And we'll never know
also,
for both of them.
I was
It
hoping
sucks
Tsunoda.
for both of them.
Yeah, I was wanting to see Tsunoda too, because like in qualifying, he did really well. He got into Q3. So I mean, he was in great position. He qualified as 8th.
I thought he would pick up
ninth.
some points. And
I was
Gasly
like, all
would,
right,
yeah.
Tsunoda's going to get points again, and he looked really good. But one little accident can ruin all of that.
Yeah,
especially in Jeddah.
Yes, exactly. Well, it sucks for them, but
yeah.
And yeah, Duhan didn't really do anything to help.
No,
not that poor Alpine team.
Kept up the back of the train.
Right. And honorable mention to Behrman. Behrman did pretty good, I think. I like what I'm seeing with him.
Yeah,
he's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Was it last year he made his debut, or was it in Saudi, or was it in?
Yeah, it was in Saudi last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he didn't pick up points this time, but did a pretty decent race.
Mm-hmm.
Lawson surprisingly made a little leap.
Yeah, he
did
a little better this time.
Well, let's just say he didn't make a leap from quali to the race result, but he did make a leap from last race to this race.
That's true. He got out of Q1, got to Q2.
Right.
And he did, he out-qualified Hajar. But during the race, he didn't do quite as well.
Right.
Hajar ended up scoring points.
Yeah, he did.
At least 8 points.
P10.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
I do too.
Yeah. I'm rooting for him. He's like my new Yuki. You kind of always want to root for Yuki, score something. I feel like that with Hajar now. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about Stroll.
Yes, Lance Stroll.
So there's got to be a point, I think, where we just stop and just smell the roses here. What are we doing with Stroll?
I mean, gosh, it's nepotism. Is it? I mean, is it not?
No, it is.
I mean,
his dad bought him a team.
His dad bought him a team, and he gets to race for him. And he's not the best driver on that team. The car isn't the best car. It's gone backwards over the past 2 years. He has in his career, he has scored points and a decent amount of points. It's not like he's not able to score points. But is he the top 30 driver in the world for F1? Is he the top 40? I don't know. I mean, it definitely.
I'm not going to say he's bottom tier, but he's definitely not top tier.
He is definitely better than me. I will give him that every day of the week. But how much is he like? Is it just nepotism? Is he daddy's boy getting the job?
Yeah, he is.
I don't like saying that about the guy.
At this point, I mean, his dad's also buying him Adrian Newey. Here's a new toy. Can you play better now? And I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't know what's going on with him. I think they got to get rid of him. If they care, if Stroll, I mean, I'm sure Stroll is doing it. Stroll Senior is doing it for his son, right?
Yeah,
we love our kids, right?
Sure.
But you're gonna tell me you're gonna keep throwing money at this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he likes the business side of F1 as well. He wouldn't be doing it if he didn't like it. But at some point you got to think okay, what are we doing here? What am I telling my investors? Oh, my son's going to take it. He's going to take it to the next level for this team, for our business, for our F1 team. I don't think so.
Yeah.
There's a point where you got to smell the roses and say, okay, this guy is just not cutting it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cut him. Let's make him a reserve driver, an ambassador or something. He seems like a nice guy. I'm sure he's got a fan base in Canada. Can do something with that, right?
Yeah.
But they got to make space for Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is interesting. If they do bring, if the rumors with Verstappen are true and they bring Verstappen on, which guy goes? Do you get rid of Alonso, who's on the last year and probably the last year of his career in 26, or do you keep Stroll, who's part of the family there?
Right.
So, would Stroll give up his seat willingly to have Max Verstappen as a gift back to his dad?
My gift to you, Dad.
Yes, for letting me drive all of these years and keeping me in Formula One. Here's my gift to you.
Right.
Do you think he would do that?
No.
No, poor
Nope.
guy. Poor guy.
I mean, at some point, he's got to do some self-reflection too. I mean, I'm sure he gets it from like the media and from like people like us,
Right?
Who, don't really have any skin in the game. But I'm sure he's got to self-reflect at one point and be like, I'm not doing anything here. This team could be better. Is there another capacity in which I can support this team to be successful?
Yeah.
Because me driving a car isn't doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. At some point it's going to end. And the question is like, if it ends.
When do you call it?
If it ends, does his dad stay the owner of the team or does his dad just sell the team? And
maybe he's just sell the team. He's
I
a
don't know.
businessman. I mean,
he's a businessman, but maybe it's like their new hobby, I mean, it kind of is.
Well,
it's kind of like his
course.
hobby. So is he going to stay on with the team if they sell it and then they, or Lance isn't driving anymore and then he gets to work closer with his dad? I don't know. Who knows? Interesting.
Very.
Yeah. But at some point, something's got to change with that.
100%.
Yeah.
So going back to the leaders, right?
Yes.
Norris made a couple places, came back from P10, finished P5 or 4? 4.
He was moving on up.
Yeah, he was moving on up. I'm sure he was waiting for a safety car.
Yeah.
Never came. And Russell seemed to be struggling a little bit with his tires. Leclerc finally. We talked about it a little earlier.
Race pace was great.
Did great. Verstappen, steadfast, kind of kept his second place. Some progress, but not really. Obviously, not progress from quali, but I guess we should touch on that, right? Lap 1, Verstappen, Piastri going to the first and second corner.
Yeah, Piastri, he has the apex. Verstappen thinks that he has the apex and gets run off the road. The stewards review it and they give Verstappen a 5-second penalty for passing off of the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Piastri did have the apex. Piastri had a hell of a start.
He did.
I mean,
I was
launch. Shocked how great of a start he had.
Yep.
I'm used to seeing like Norris up there on starts and Verstappen just pulls away from him. So
he just cuts. Usually, I mean, it's so predictable what Verstappen does. He'll typically just go in and cut someone off. From the get go, and he just was a little slow at it, or Piastri was just really like quick on the draw, but he couldn't do that and forced. I guess Verstappen really into an error.
He did.
And that cost him a 5-second penalty. And obviously the rest is history.
Yeah,
he served it on his pit stop. And
I mean, Verstappen basically, he just drove for 22 laps in front, hoping that he could get far enough ahead. It was kind of weird because Piastri, he took a pit stop at lap 20. He was 22 and a half seconds behind Verstappen after coming out of that pit stop. And it was odd that Verstappen didn't take a pit stop like right after, and he waited 2 laps and then he didn't, he was too far behind at that point. Or it was a little odd that they didn't have him pit before Piastri or at the same time as Piastri. I thought that was a little strange, and from looking at the pace after the fact, I think Piastri probably would have beaten him anyway. But but it seemed like, why didn't they do that? It seemed like that was like kind of a key point in the race.
It's like
kind of lost strategy wise.
Yeah, they didn't really have a strategy. Like they didn't undercut and they didn't overcut. They just kind of waited.
Yeah.
I think also they were probably waiting for a safety car or something. I was like, why would they stay an extra lap? Regardless, I think you're right. The outcome would have been the same.
Yeah, because he never really caught up after that. I think he got to 4 seconds.
4 seconds, 3 seconds.
4 seconds. So.
And that's because I think Piastri was also letting Norris have some space between both of them. So I think he would have been much farther up the road if Norris wasn't in front.
Yeah, that's true, because Norris took finally went in for a pit stop somewhere around lap 35.
30, I think 7 or something.
37, something like that. Yeah. So he was running in first place for a long time.
Right. Well,
Piastri wanted that clean air. And they gave it to him, too.
They gave it to him.
After.
Yeah.
I think they were planning on keeping Norris out for longer until Piastri said that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they used some good judgment there,
The
and
papaya rules.
happy for Piastri because first time leading the championship, and now, I mean, he can cement that in Miami. Like, you get a win there.
That's true.
Or you're in front of Norris. Guess what? Like, it's hard to overcome that.
So is Norris going to have the same type of luck as he did last year in Miami? Or is it going to be like his luck this past weekend?
Yeah, for Norris, it's like his negative performances are kind of like compounding, right?
Yeah, they are.
I don't see him doing that great in Miami, but let's hope for the best. You know,
You never know. He had a lot of luck last year.
Yeah, he's got to change his attitude.
That's
really,
true. Like his self-talk.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that on the radio. Like, if you're an idiot, so what? Like, don't say it out loud.
He's gonna
don't speak it into existence.
like, yeah, exactly. Like he's got millions of people that may call him an idiot. He doesn't need to say that.
Right.
Like,
leave that
he's
to
not,
us.
Yeah, leave that. Yeah, that's for us to do, not for him. He needs to stay positive,
Exactly.
internally and also on the radio.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So speaking about Miami's the next race. Really excited about that. You know, back in the States, in our not our hometown, but our home country.
Yes, our home country. Yeah. Yes.
So, what are your predictions for then?
So predictions, gosh, I really think Piastri is going to run away with it. I think Verstappen's going to be there and Leclerc.
All right, 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Okay, Piastri, Leclerc, Verstappen.
Piastri, Leclerc, Verstappen.
Yeah,
okay.
why not? Why not? Let's get a little risky with
All
Ferrari.
right, cool. I say Piastri, Verstappen, Norris.
Piastri, Verstappen, Norris. Yeah, it's probably more realistic than what I just said, but
No, I mean Leclerc. I mean, you never know. Ferrari. A lot of teams come with upgrades in Miami anyway.
Yeah.
So who's to say they're not going to fix something in that car and they'll be able to get some performance out of it.
yeah, and I mean, I do still feel that Verstappen, they put themselves in a good position.
Yeah.
I think he legitimately could win in Miami. He did really well last year until he decided he wanted to take that cone. Out. He didn't like it. If he's okay with the cone there this year, I think he has a shot to win.
All right. Let's hope for no cone this
cone.
year. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a no cone Sunday. Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect. All right, cool. Well, Craig, is there anything else you have for us?
That's what I got.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Just like, subscribe.
All right.
You know,
like,
send us a coffee. Send us some comments.
Yeah.
Good
comments.
stuff. Yeah. We love questions. Love to answer. So, yeah.
Well, this was a good race.
Yes, it was.
Thanks,
Good times. Thank you, Daniel. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.